Lots of international students come to America to study engineering degrees, but how do you know what's the right one for you? We're going to be talking about a maybe less popular, less common degree with job scope, course curriculum, scholarship opportunities to see if this is the right fit for you. Check it out. Hey friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. I'm Rob, and we love helping guide people to success on their cross-cultural journey. We've guided thousands of international students, even helping them think about degrees and college opportunities. And we're going to be talking about a lesser known degree, less popular degree with civil engineering and structural engineering here in America, breaking down all the important details, asking the question, is it worth it? Should you consider this degree? We've got a great student to talk about their own experience, Srishti. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Srishti, and I'm pursuing master's in civil engineering with focus on structural engineering and mechanics at the University of Texas Arlington campus. Currently, this is my third semester at UTA, and I'm doing a co-op, which is a full-time internship with one of the companies in Garland, Texas, and also taking one course on campus. So I'm just left with two coursework, and I'll be joining another company for summer internship with one coursework, and then my anticipated graduation semester would be fall 2022. And I'm really excited today to talk to all of you guys about civil engineering and structural engineering degrees for master's program in the US.
So I'm really excited too to learn a lot about this. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to share about your journey, your experience, and see if this is really worth it for students. But let's start in talking about civil engineering. So Srishti, give us kind of just an overview of civil engineering and a degree with that in America.
To begin with, I would say civil engineering is a very, very unique branch of engineering because it has involvement of a lot of other sub-engineering branches in collaboration with mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science, and so many other branches. So it's not just a one branch. So it is including so many other branches as well. So and talking about the uniqueness of this branch, that each and every construction project is unique. You wouldn't just copy, and you cannot just copy the any building or any design and paste it to some other location, country, or city, and have the same exact like copy. How we copy paste something, like for example a diagram, and copy paste to another Word file. So it's just not like that, and you cannot do that. So that's the good part I like about this degree, is its uniqueness. Another important part about this degree is if you learn any subject in your undergrad program of civil engineering, so every subject will have a specialization scope in a master's degree, right from engineering mechanics to surveying, water resources, transportation engineering, structural engineering, hydrology, marine engineering, earthquake engineering, and the latest civil engineering sub branch, which is growing, is forensic structural engineering. So every subject which you learn in undergrad has some specialization or major scope in master's program in the US. So that is also one of the most important part towards pursuing your general civil engineering degree in undergraduation. And then based on that, you decide, I have interest towards structural engineering because I have taken electives, and I really like these kind of subjects which are more focusing towards structural or transportation. And based on that, a student, civil engineering undergrad, can easily decide what he or she is looking forward to pursue in master's. So these two are the uniqueness and versatility of sub branches. So these 2 points I like the most about this particular stream of engineering.
Yeah, it sounds like civil engineering has a lot of different ways you can take it,
Yes,
specializations, different industries, which is really cool. And your focus, your
right,
specialization is structural engineering. So
right.
break that
That's right.
down and give us more details about what structural engineering looks like here in America.
Basically talking about structural engineering and how this branch is unique in every different country. So I learned my undergraduate in civil engineering in India, and I was exposed to different structural code books. So it's just like following a law book if you're a law student, that you're bound to so and so laws, and you cannot do something, like a person cannot do something against these laws, and if he or she does so, then that is called as a criminal offense. So it's the same principle applies to the branch of structural engineering, because every country has their own code. For my country, for India, the code which is used for design of structural elements is called as Indian Standard Code. So it is used mostly in uh, South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, because these all countries fall under the same seismic region where the earthquake, capacity or the earthquake scale is the same. So that's why you cannot just copy paste whatever you have designed in India to some another country, like for say example California in the US, because California has higher seismic ranges than what Indian region has. So California, US, Texas, even the different states of US have their own different codes. So whatever you learn in undergraduation in India, especially if you're concerned about structural engineering, so the uniqueness has a lot of involvement of different code books. So here in US, timber structures are most commonly used structures. So there is a whole different code book for structures. There is a whole different code book for concrete structures. There is a different code book for steel structures. There is a different code book for hybrid structures, like combination of reinforced concrete and steel. So that has a lot of versatility. And as long as structural engineering is concerned, it is very different from another sub branches of civil engineering. Let's say it's very different from construction management or architecture, because whatever we are design, whatever architect gives a structural engineer a design, for example, he gives a plan. And for example, Rob, if you want to build your own house, so what you as a owner, what you will be concerned about, how my house should look, how many bedrooms or living room or area my house should have, or swimming pool at the backyard, and this cosmetic stuff, you as a owner of that house will be concerned. You really don't know what are the designs or analysis that an engineer has done to categorize your design into a reality. So that's where structural engineering starts. So basically structural engineers deal with mostly design of structural elements, like which give a lot of importance towards stability of structures, like could be column design, beam design, where architect and owner is not really concerned about. But because we are delivering for you, for us, it's not just a house. It involves safety, it involves your livelihood, it involves your good neighborhood, and it is preserving your past and building your future. As a structural engineer, there is involvement of creativity, practical problem solving, and also smartness, like how smartly you overcome some problems on site and give a effective solution to the site engineer. So this is a brief introduction. I would say, like, this is a brief introduction about structural engineering.
Fantastic. Now tell us briefly about the course curriculum. I know you're at UT Arlington, but what kind of the key courses that people will face in this kind of degree?
If you divide United States into East Coast and West Coast based on the geographical bifurcation, then the core subjects of civil engineering may differ from state to state or university to university, because there is no lot of scope of earthquake in Texas. But if I get admission into some California university, like say UC LA or something, then there will be involvement of seismic analysis core subjects in the curriculum. So, talking about the core subjects, so before I talk about the core subjects, I would like to focus on prerequisites, which you are supposed to cover during your undergrad. For UTA, the prerequisite subjects were mechanics of materials, structural analysis, then mechanics of strength of material, and then also design analysis of non-determinate structures, and as well as analysis of determinate structures, and earthquake engineering, and the most important, reinforced concrete design, which is used nowadays all over the world. Uh, so these are the prerequisites of prerequisites of structural engineering degree. And when you come to US to pursue your master's in structural engineering, then the degrees are mainly focused on advanced design of reinforced concrete structures, then advanced design of steel structures, since there is a lot of involvement of mass construction like dams, bridges, retaining walls. Also, timber is most commonly used material for residential construction in the US. So, structural timber design is also one of the core subjects, and fundamentals of finite element method, which has a little bit involvement of programming languages with application in civil engineering. So, all these subjects are, and also I missed one subject, sorry, advanced mechanics of materials. So all these subjects come under the core structural engineering subject. And as I said, that it could be different, like earthquake is really optional and elective for my university since it is in Texas, but I checked the curriculum of California University, and earthquake or seismic design of buildings was one of the core subjects for those universities. So earthquake is optional and elective for like based on different states. And talking about electives, structural engineering has wide range of electives. For my university, my department offers almost 22 electives in the field of structural engineering. Like just forget about other branches. It's just 22 electives particularly for structures. So it has wide variety of prerequisite courses and limited core courses, which involves a lot of advanced design courses. And then for electives, you have subjects like earth structure design, building information modeling and visualization, and so pre-stressed concrete design, which is also one of the like growing topic in the US because a lot of precast and pre-stressed construction is under development, and like there is always a scope of mass construction and involvement of these pre-stressed elements. So that is one of the most like growing current trend topic in the civil engineering. And yeah, there are so many other electives in structural engineering. I would like to add that you have a lot of freedom while choosing your elective, like you're not limited to particular specialization, like you're not just limited to concrete structures. Even though I'm interested in concrete structure, but why not to learn about timber structures, or why not to learn about steel structures? So inside structural engineering subjects, you have a lot of variety between the construction materials that you're applying in your day-to-day industrial life, and also wide variety of what structural what structural sorry also there is a lot of variety of different structural designs. Like you can design building, simultaneously you can design a bridge, you can design a highway, and simultaneously you can design a small timber house which you can construct in almost a week. So there is wide variety in terms of construction material techniques, and as well as vertical development like buildings, tall buildings, apartments, or horizontal development like roadway or bridges. So yes, it's good in terms of variety, and yeah, just a lot of variety into structural engineering.
Now, a big question people ask about is jobs and job opportunities. So, Srishti, tell us about the job scope of these kind of degrees in America.
Talking about the current job market, it's very open, and civil is a branch which never has zero opportunities because there is always something going on. If you travel daily on a highway, like from your home to office, you will see one road is blocked because there is something going on the road. So that's the job scope of my branch, because there is always something going on. It could be personal project, like as I said, like personal, you're buying a land and constructing a house, or it could be a public project like a river walk or development of something, or it could be a bridge project. Not necessarily that it should be a new project. It could be restoration of existing structural elements, or carrying out the forensic analysis or what strength the existing buildings are having, and based on that we can decide if we want to demolish the existing structure and construct a new, or based on what non-destructive testing we do, and what results we get. So based on that, civil engineering can decide the scope of that particular construction. So there is always a scope, and as long as Texas is concerned, I would say Texas Department of Transportation, which is also called as TxDOT, has a lot of projects going on. So if you divide the civil branch into two sectors, one is construction sector and one is design sector. So I would say there is always equal scope in both the sectors. So construction sector has involvement of construction management student, construction engineering student, water resource student, transportation engineering student majoring in construction, and design sector would have involvement or scope for architect, structural designer, a transportation engineer who will be designing highways or bridge roadways or something like that, like having involvement of transportation things. And water resource engineer can also go and work on site for construction sector, or water resource engineer can join a design team and be the part of design team for designing water structures like retaining walls or dams, or culverts and causeways or something like that. So there is equal opportunity in both construction, which is actual execution sector, or behind the stage, this design part which we do from office. So there is equal scope in both the sectors. And one more important point I would like to add, and most of the international students at the beginning do not know about this exam, is FE exam, which you have to clear in order to work in the United States of America as a civil engineer, like as a licensed civil engineer. So there are involvement of two exams in order to get a good job in a good topmost companies, or manager level job, because entry level jobs they do not require, because I don't have my FP or PE license yet, but I'm studying for that. But since I'm an intern, I interact with so many professional engineers in my day-to-day life, so many professors, because I have completed 3 semesters at UTA, and I did not know about this exam when I was preparing for my master's in structural engineering. So this is a very important point I would like to talk about to all the international students, not only international, because anyone, even if you're a US citizen, you require to have that exam in order to, work in the civil industry. So fundamentals of engineering exam, which you can take do if even if you're undergrad in the US, or a master's student, or a PhD student, or a double PhD student. So there is no such restriction or basic qualification requirement for taking that FE exam. You just have to have a degree in civil engineering of United States. And so that exam, if you pass that exam, then you will get a pre-license, which is called as FE, Fundamental Engineering License. And then after 3 years working in the industry, you can apply for your PE license. PE is basically your professional engineer license. So the advantage of PE license is you can authorize any design that you do, because I also do so many structural designs in my day-to-day internship activity, but I don't have any authority to stamp it and give it away for execution to any contractor or construction execution company. I don't have that legal authority to do that. Or even if my manager under whom I'm working, he doesn't have PE license, he cannot authorize or like sign any of the documents. So in order to have a good knowledge of civil engineering and uh, a good scope in like sorry, in order to have a good scope for jobs in the US, you have to have these two exams and certifications. So I would suggest that when you're looking for opportunities in civil engineering, and if you open LinkedIn or Indeed and you start searching for jobs, and in basic requirements there will be at least FE exam, so that you still have 3 years of time to prepare for your PE and get recommendation from another two PEs working in the industry, and then you apply and submit all these documents to the National Board of Professional Engineers, and then you can get your PE license from them. So this is the very important part, that you should consider if you're planning to stay in the US after pursuing your master's and looking forward for your job opportunities. So I would say it won't restrict your job opportunities, but it would restrict your promotion. So that is the most important part you should think about being an international student pursuing civil engineering in the US.
So it sounds like there's lots of great job opportunities for after graduation. But while you're studying, Srishti, tell us about the cool research opportunities and scholarships that people can get with this degree.
So as I said, that civil engineering is a very unique branch and has a lot of scope in terms of sub branches of civil engineering. So always there is a scope for research opportunities, and there is a lot of research going on in my university because my university collaborates with Texas Department of Transportation to get funds and do some work, research work on behalf of Texas Department of Transportation. And I was part of a research project for my first 3 semesters where I got my in-state scholarship because I was a research assistant and I was assisting my department chair, Dr. Abol Malik. He had some very unique projects. So prediction of pavement using field sampling and image processing under geotechnical department. And he had a great funding from TechStot. Also, a few other UTA professors like Dr. Noor Yazdani, under whom I learned my advanced design of reinforced concrete subject. So he recently got a $6 million funding and recognition from Texas Department of Transportation for developing a mobile app which can, give you quick results of coordinate systems on highways and roads and transportation systems. So there are a lot of research opportunities, especially in the UTA, as long as my department is concerned. I would say that there are so many hot topics, like current research topics going on, and there are so many old topics, like transportation is an old branch, and there are so many research things going on with transportation, but like advanced topics like fiber reinforced concrete or smart infrastructure or forensic structural engineering. So these are some advanced research topics, and US, no doubt, US degrees are always inclined towards research approach and practical approach towards education. So yes, I would suggest US is the land of opportunities as long as research are concerned in civil engineering.
Great. Now, what about scholarships and, what are scholarship opportunities as well?
For UTA, if you're a grader or graduate teaching assistant or graduate research assistant, you automatically qualify for in-state scholarship. So being an international student, you just have to pay half tuition fee if you get this in-state scholarship. But apart from, not every student gets this opportunity to, serve as a research assistant or teaching assistant. So for these students, College of Engineering has so many other scholarship opportunities. And apart from scholarship limited to your university or your school, there are a few other professional organizations like ASCE, which is American Society of Civil Engineers, or SCI, with whom I'm working as a vice president for grad student chapter at my school, so which is Structural Engineer Institute, or NSPE, which is National Society of Professional Engineers. So these professional organizations also have a lot of funding and scholarship opportunities. Even the Tex Department of Transportation, they do have a lot of scholarship opportunities for students, encouraging research and having good work in the field of civil engineering, or who are desperate to pursue masters, who are an undergrad and desperate to pursue masters in any specific field of civil engineering. So there are a lot of scholarship opportunities, I would say, and I got few of the scholarship opportunities through my professors and through my managers where I work right now, because they recommended me to apply for College of Engineering and as well as these highly professional organizations, and they recommended me by writing a recommendation letter, and I could get 2 or 3 scholarships at the same time.
That's awesome. I know scholarships are really helpful, save a lot of money, give you great opportunities. So, my friends, if you're learning a lot, give a big like and thumbs up to this video to say thanks to Srishti, sharing all this super valuable information, super helpful. And our chai question for you guys for this video is, what degree do you want to pursue? Let us know in the comments, what degree are you considering here in America? Is it engineering, something else? Tell us in the comments what degree that you're considering here in the States. Now, Srishti, before we talk about whether this degree is worth it or not, I know you got some tips. So tell us some of these tips that you want to give for incoming students for them to think about and be prepared for.
The main tip I would like to give to all the international students that you should have a keen knowledge and interest towards this branch, civil engineering. Secondly, don't limit yourself to particular design topic. Like if I limit myself for concrete design, then I'm restricting my other opportunities. So be open and be open to, cross train yourself in the industry. If you're a structural engineer, doesn't mean you're just restricted to structural design and you should not learn something about transportation design or water resource design. So be open to all the sub branches of engineering and try to learn as many things as you can through your internship, because that gives you hands-on experience. Networking, as you always suggest to all your listeners and all your uh, students to network. So networking with the professional engineers or your professors is highly recommended, because of having connection to these professional engineers, you can always take their opinion about what you're pursuing right now, or which topics you should cover in which subjects you should cover in your very first 2 semesters in order to be eligible and be a suitable candidate for a company, because company is not focusing on your elective. Company is majorly focusing on what core subjects you have taken during very first 2 semesters. So, and be prepared for this license examination and so many other certifications. And even if you're a civil engineer, be open to be open to have a little bit not like beginner level knowledge of programming language, because everything is now automation and you cannot design manually Burj Khalifa or any tall bridge or building. So it's really automation and programming for so many civil engineering sub departments, especially my department, my branch, structural engineering, that has a lot of involvement of different design analysis and drawing software. So learn as many software as you can before coming for your master's degree, because no one is going to teach you how to draw lines in this software. You are supposed to know that well in advance before pursuing your degree. So these are the few important tips I would like to give to international students coming to US for pursuing their masters.
I love it. So much good stuff to consider. A lot of great factors, data points with this degree and what it can mean for you. But Shristi, taking all these factors, what do you think? Is civil engineering and structural engineering worth it for people to come and invest that time and money here in America for a career? What do you think?
I would say that civil engineering is very good branch and has research opportunities and job opportunities always. Like there is no restriction or there is no recession for this particular branch. So I would suggest that this branch, especially structural engineering, is really worth to pursue in USA.
I love it. So friends, check that out. And if you're an incoming student, I want to tell about 2 really cool resources, Juno and Wise, that have helped lots of students. Juno provides student loans for tuition and also medical insurance. You can also refinance your loan. They've got great interest rates. So check out Juno for student tuition loans, refinance loan, or better, cheaper medical insurance, which is required for students in America. Another resource I love is Wise. This is what I use to make international money transfers across the world. You can use this to send money home, make payments for tuition, housing, things like that. They've got super fast, super safe, best fees and rates. So also check out Wise as well. We've got some links. We'll get some special promotions with Wise. You get $600, up to $600 free wire transfer on us. So I want to hook you guys up with that. And Srishti, thanks so much for hanging out with us. This was super helpful. I learned so much, and I'm really excited and hope people would consider this as an option when they come to America. So thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to collaborate with you and talk to international students. And Rob, you're doing a great job by preparing these videos, especially for international students. And all international students just love you for the work you're doing. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. This was fun. Thanks again. My friends, be sure to connect with us
Yes,
online on social media, on Instagram and LinkedIn. Be
sure.
subscribed to the Chime Coaching newsletter as well for extra fun tips and resources. And thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time at Chime Coaching. Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.